It's hot as balls. So if I turn the AC on, don't say hello. I got a comment on a TikTok a couple days ago that was like, it was on a video I posted that was like top 10 anime betrayals. Having to wake up at the ass crack of dawn when I thought I could wake up earlier. And someone was like, hey, could you talk about being black at a PWI? And I was like, well, sure. Like, last time I had my hair look anything remotely like this, I got called Medusa. And that I unfortunately am still holding space for that. And it just reminded me of random stories. Random bullshit. Being the only non-white person at school. I've talked about this a lot, just like random instances, just like cracking jokes. Because that's how I cope. And my family doesn't believe in therapy. When I first started high school, I remember I was friends with this girl. I always refer to her as like the root of all evil. She was my first friend that I made in high school. And like the first friend I made like completely on my own. And she was just so fucking weird. Like, I went to her house and like first time I went there, her sister was like, oh my god, you're as dark as this cookie. And it was like a fucking Oreo. I was like, what? We stopped being friends because her mom told her she didn't like people, she shouldn't be friends with people like me. You can take that how you want. But I remember like she said something about like me having an attitude problem. That was something that I like stuck in my head for like years after, because I've always made it I've always tried so hard to never show emotion ever, which like part of me is just like dense in that way, but then also, and it's hard for me to just express like emotion. I'm getting into a whole other topic. That's not the topic. Moral of the story, I just try to never overreact about anything. Like someone could literally kill my cat and I'd be like, it's fine, like you didn't mean to. And that was the first time a parent had ever said to someone like, oh, I don't like this friend or yada yada yada, and then I found out about it. That's never happened. Like I was like the friend that like my friend's parents fucking love me. Partially like I know that that's probably from like, you know, because they just like me as a person, hopefully. I try like extra hard with like adults because I just know there's like, it's not a level playing field. I don't know how else to describe it. But that was the first time like I had ever found out like a parent didn't like me. And parents have probably not liked me before, but like their kid didn't come and tell me and was like, haha, like my mom said that, and then, you know, then knowing the reason why was that, I was like, oh nah, like they're just kind of, I think I was the first friend she had. Oh no, she told me once, she was like, yeah, you're the first black girl like I've been like close with. Like we had like one black kid at our school, but like they left really early. I wonder why. I thought I could last longer. It's really hot as balls. That friend group I was in was just very satanic. I wanted to be in that group so bad because when I started high school, it's like, okay, like I want to be cool, I want to be this, I want to like this is the American dream, God. The second I walked in that school building, it like I put on like such a facade that I look back and I'm like, how did anyone like me? I was so fucking boring. Every single thing that I took interest in, I completely abandoned. Until I hit like sophomore year, like I got the rest. But even though I was in it for such a short time and eventually got booted and then it was white again, I was the only one in that friend group who wasn't. I just, even though it was like pretty brief, thank God, it impacted me so much because I had never a strong word, but like I so outwardly was shown how like people can be very racist and the casual racism is actually fucking ridiculous. There was a guy in the friend group and his name was, let me not say his actual name. Matt. Fuck you, Matt. He brings up how his mom thought we were dating. And I was like, a part of me got unnecessarily excited because I just never, I'm like, oh my god, like, this isn't normally allowed. Like, people could, like me? Like, have a crush? Like, whoa. Oh my god, like, my name came up in, like, a light like that. Like, I just have never experienced that. Remember, he said, like, his mom brought me up and then was like, oh, were you guys dating? And then he was like, oh, no. Like, why do you think that? And then she, like, after that said something that was like, you know, like, sweetie, like, it's okay if you like people like her. Like, we would be okay with that. Like, you are allowed to like people like her. And I just remember him telling me that story, laughing, chuckling, har-harring. He was slapping his fucking, it was, what the fuck? I just was like, is that like, yeah, I guess it's a good thing. Like, I did not want to hear that shit. And also, why are you laughing? What is so fucking funny? And when I stopped being friends with that one girl, they all stopped talking to me. And that's, like, whatever. But I just remember being like, I would notice that when I stopped being friends with them, they were not friends with, I was the only person of color, like, they were ever friends with, really. And, like, the other ones I did know that they were friends with were always the butt of the joke, and they would come to me and we would have conversations. I don't know how you were in that friend group, or they say this to me, or they're so like, just stuff like that, and I'm like,
1, 2, eat my fucking poop.
What the fuck was I even saying? Wait. Oh, being black. Every day I aggressively try to be myself, almost like a nauseating amount. Because it's almost like making up for lost time. Because I'm almost like, I spent all this time like putting on a front, actually acting a different person off the basis of like, obviously you can't say is because you're black and I've never, you know, you can't say that. But like, are the other things true? Am I quiet? Yeah. Was I at the time quieter and like never really talked and like I have a bad RBF? All of those things are true. But I've met people like that, and the first impression is like, oh, like you were really cool, you were like mysterious. But I'm a fucking monster. Then I have to remind myself of like where I am, the place like that I live in fucking Kansas. Just hearing people say things and I'm like, this doesn't even pertain to me, and I know this shit is weird. I vividly remember, and there was this kid named Evan. We were like talking about like, I don't know why we were talking about other religions in English, but we were talking about other religions. Cause my English teacher was like unexpectedly woke. Like she was, love her. And this kid goes like, yeah, like I have Indian neighbors and they have these weird statues in front of their house and they're like weird. And I was just like, do you not hear the casual racism in school, especially because like I feel like it was like in a concentrated place where I went to school because it was Catholic and so everyone was white. When it comes to like, I was talking about this with Jude last night about like, we were talking about liking people and something like that. It's because we were talking about someone and we were like, oh my god, like he's so bad. Then it was like 11 and we were driving, and then it got like really deep, and we were just talking about like, we feel like it's almost like in your mind you kind of have it set as like, it's not really allowed for like people to like me. Like, this isn't really allowed to happen. So when it does happen, or like you kind of don't want to entertain the idea of anything ever happening, period, because if you get your hopes up, then you'll get your feelings hurt. But if it never really mattered to you, then your feelings aren't hurt, because it was like, oh, whatever, like, whoa, ow. And the reason I always thought like that was because, okay, well, like, no one's like allowed to, you know, like, sometimes, like, that friend I had at the beginning of high school, like, made it very apparent to me that it was weird. I asked a guy to homecoming. I asked a guy to homecoming, and I remember everyone around me, all my friends, obviously because they're my friends, they like are hyping me up and be like, oh my god, like he'd be an idiot to say no to you, or this, that, and the third, like why would he say no, da 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 da. I just don't think that you understand, not that you don't understand, but it's so uncomfortable. I don't even like saying it, of like, okay, I love that you're hyping me up right now, like thanks guys, but like we are not on a level playing field. Like if you did that, he wouldn't say no. And even if he did say no, I can tell you right now, it's not for the same reason he could say and did say, and most likely will say no to me. I thank God every day that I had my friend Milka, who like, we were family friends, and then we went to the same middle school and high school. So when those things happen, I could blatantly say it, like, it's because of this, and it's immediate, or I don't even need to say it. I didn't even need to say it sometimes with her. I just be like, I feel this way because, you know. I know plenty of people with a bad RBF. Worse than mine, I'd argue. But then I'm the scary one. It's like, I feel like I never, and what made me really think about this like a lot was Love Island. The way that I couldn't escape the online discourse about everything about it, I was just like, oh. I feel like I basically watched it, if I'm being for real. Like, I could tell you the entire storyline, everyone, Nicolandria. Like, I just watched, like, literally this morning when I was getting ready, I watched the Kiki Palmer interview podcast with Alandra and Shelly, and Alandra was talking about, like, you know what, like, I liked Nick, but, like, people, and like, he is my type, and I do find him attractive, but, like, people like him, like, where I'm from, like, they're very traditional, And just hearing her say it like that, I was like, wow, like, it's like, you get it. Even though I felt like I didn't really struggle with it anymore, I was like, whoa, like, it was seeing some of the most beautiful people I've ever seen in my fucking life. I don't think that I've seen someone hotter than you ever. I don't think that's possible, and you have the same insecurity and struggle that I have. The memes are funny as hell, but community college is probably the place I've met the most diverse group of people in my life. Like, now being outside of my high school, I look at my friends, and I'm really bad at like I don't have any like acquaintances or like surface level friends, because I'm like I don't like that. Like, all my friends, I consider all my friends my close friends. So when I think about my friends, like, my friend group is low-key the United Nations. I love it. Like, this is what I was thinking about, how like this is like what my younger self like longed for so bad. I had, especially at the beginning of high school and like before COVID a lot, and even a little bit after COVID, like, I didn't have a lot of friends in high school, but I do look back at, like, sometimes I did have a friend, and sometimes I did question, like, oh, like, why are you fucking a guy who says the N-word? Like, oh my god, like, your ex-boyfriend called our friend the C-slur and you broke up with him, but like, he did so many worse things before that. I hated feeling like I ever had to think about, like, okay, push came to shove, if I sat you down right now and asked you these things that are like basic morality, you'd waver. And that feeling, it's so, like, it's sick. It hurts. Even when you go online and you see so-and-so said this. Or even like Love Island a lot. That's literally a lot of the stuff I saw about Love Island was before it even aired. Like, some girl was taken off because of her past tweets. Am I the only sane person here? You don't feel any type of anxiety towards your friendships or relationships in your life. I'm just like, whoa, like, this is like, I think I've had dreams about this. When it comes to dating and stuff, I, for some godforsaken reason, ended up at this party. And it was a party with, like, people from my high school. And so, I think even though I felt I was a lot better than I used to be, I feel like I had to prove, like, yeah, like, I'm so much better than you guys. Because of the actual traumatic things, like, people at that very party put me through. I also noticed that, like, a lot of these people, like, I used to be friends with, some of them, when they went to college or anything, like, shit is the whitest thing I've ever seen. Like, and even though, like, that's not my problem. It is not. But there's something, like, in me, like, when I noticed that, and how there are some of these people, like, I used to be kind of good friends with, it makes me think, was I a diversity hire? I didn't even get paid for this shit. I was talking to this guy, because I reposted something that was about, I think, like, One Piece or something, like, brought it up to me, and we were having conversation, and like, we unfortunately had a lot in common. And he said to me, he was like, oh, like, I wish we were like better friends in high school, or blah 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 blah. And I was like, oh yeah, what a shame. This other kid came up, and he like he was doing something random, so both of us were like, what the fuck? But instead of saying that, he goes, and what? You should have seen my face. Me and that other kid, we just were like, and then he goes, oh my god, hit me, like, you need to hit me. And I was like, what type of kink is this? No, you need to slap me, you need to slap the shit out of me. And I was like, I'm not gonna do that. He's like, no, you need to. And he was pissing me off, and so I did slap him. But it was so, like, it was like, oh, that was kind of loud. It was not like that, but I literally just like I didn't actually slap him, but I was just like, and then later that night, he never ride home because his friends left without him earlier, and he was really drunk. And so I know some guys, they like to drink and drive. Oh, I'll take you home. It's literally where I'm going. I don't live far from there. Get in my fucking car. And then I took him home. After he did that. What? Like, I just was like, what? That's, in a nutshell, how I would describe being black at a PWI. Being a person of color in a really white school. Like, it's like you constantly just deal with something. And when it comes to, like, normal high school experiences, like liking a guy, liking a girl, like having a crush, going to dances, it's on level 100. Because you don't even want to get excited about it, because if you don't get excited, you don't get your feelings hurt. I can forgive, but I can never forget how it made me feel. And I don't hold anything against some people who did things, and then, like, now they're relatively, like, fine people. But I will never go out of my way to do the whole, like, hi-bye thing, or like, oh my god, hey girl, da da da. It's like, hey, like, I'm not gonna go around and, like, I don't know. I will never forget how it made little me feel. Like, I used to hate myself so much because of these things. Like, I was so unlovable. Not even in the sense of like, oh my god, no, nobody's ever gonna have a crush on me. Not even like that. It like, even to be a friend, to take photos with, to do this with, like little things you catch on to. And I feel like that's the epitome, like that is like, in a nutshell, to explain the experience. Like, you hang out with your friends and they all post photos on Instagram, but you're never in the photo. And if you are in the photo, you look so bad. And then you have a literal panic attack when people will post for your birthday because you just don't want, like that would happen to me. Like, a large part of it was because of that. Like, I just didn't ever want to give people ammo to make fun of me because I know the first thing that someone's gonna come for is how I look, like how dark I am. And if you are also dealing with this, or if you have also gone through this, just know this, you are not alone in this. Oh my god, it never has been, it never will be your fault. It is their fault for being closed-minded. And who's mad? I don't no, that's actually, yeah, I don't know if maybe that was just me therapy. Thank you for sitting in on my therapy session. Thank you for watching. If maybe, I love it when I lose my train of thought. You can follow me on Instagram at kelsey if you want. And I will see you on Friday. Bye.